Hey everyone, it is Stephanie here with Infernal TV. This is another segment of my Bands to Check Out channel, and here I am with Pontifex. So, how are you two?
Grim. Unfortunately, it is
So
grim.
grim. Awesome. So now you guys won the Florida Wacken Battle. So how does it feel to be going to New Jersey and competing to play in Wacken?
I think the short answer would be hopeful, honored, motivated. A longer answer would be that it feels surreal. Wacken is the largest heavy metal festival in the world. And, as a teenage metalhead, it's always been a dream just to be a spectator at something like this. And it's sort of a metal mecca. And so the idea of not just being able to have the opportunity to potentially go there, but to have the opportunity to play there is something that I could never even imagine. So it just feels like a gift from the gods.
That's awesome. And so, now I was a judge at the Florida Wacken Battle, and one of the, I guess, stand out aspects that really like kind of drove me to give you guys a high rating compared to the other bands is that your live performance is excellent. Like even with this last concert is you guys even took things up a higher notch than you did the other times I saw you live. So, for the New Jersey battle, and if you guys were to win Bakken and then be able to participate, will you take your live performance up another notch? And if so, can you kind of hint at what you're thinking?
Ooh, no freebies. But absolutely, we are in a place with this project where we are refining our presentation, we are honing our vision. And so it's only going to improve from here. But I guess a hint would be that we're adding a lot more elements of stage props and adding a lot more death aspects to what we're doing.
Ooh, awesome. I like that. So, this question is for Caleb. You've had a couple of lineup changes since your inception. So, how did you choose your current band members, the current lineup you have?
Our current lineup has gone through a rigorous audition. Our vocalist was required to create lyrics for two new songs and learn the song Apparition off of our first album. We had maybe 10, 15 applicants for the position, and we narrowed it down to two who had the qualities that we were looking for. Brimstone is exactly what we wanted for our longevity and to create the sound that I hear for my vision. Our new guitarist, Aaron, he was sent our most difficult songs, one of them being Necromancer's Moon, which will have its live debut this weekend as we support Cetragore on their summer tour. And the other song would be The Oracle's Mystic Dreams, which in our Vakken set is the one that has the sort of jazz type bass lines and the clean guitar sounds. Aaron showed up to our audition having learned our whole set list of music, and he's been knocking it out of the park since day one in the band. When it comes to choosing a good lineup for a band, it comes down to two things: who you can depend on and who shares your vision. All the members of Pontifex have proven their dedication to our art frequently throughout our career.
Awesome. And so, when people, like I guess when the state of Florida and metal comes to most people's mind, everybody talks about Florida death metal. But I personally think the Florida black metal scene is so underrated. You guys being one amazing band from the area, and there are countless others. So can you talk about your thoughts about the Florida black metal scene?
Yeah, absolutely. So Of all of the places that I've lived over the years, having been in the metal scene since I was a teenager, from the East Coast all the way out to the West in Colorado, I have found that Florida has the strongest metal scene in general. But I was actually surprised moving here and seeing how strong the black metal representation is. So we recently in February played the Bay of Fire Festival in Tampa, and that was all black metal, all Florida black metal. And I had no idea there were so many black metal bands. And what really struck me was that each performance was well put together. There wasn't a single band on the bill that was lacking. Everyone brought something unique to the table. And based on what I've been talking about with other members of the community, it sounds to me like we are currently in the biggest wave of black metal Florida has seen over the last 10 years. So to me, I'm not only impressed and surprised by that, but I feel so grateful to be able to be a part of that.
That's amazing. And then I was at Bay of Fire too. Shout out to Vince, who put on the festival, and Voidrium, another killer. They have like a Mediterranean style black metal sound, so killer band to check out as well. Um,
Absolutely. They're going to be joining us on our summer tour, actually,
ooh,
for the tail end for our New England dates. And another shout out would be Tunnels of Set. They've been killing it. They actually just today released their new EP, Alagos. I hope I'm saying that correctly.
I think so.
Um, but that's definitely something to check out. They've really been putting the work in.
that's awesome. And then we'll talk about your tour probably towards the end of this interview. And now you will be releasing your next album. Well, actually, here, let me rework this question. So I was watching another interview, Caleb, that you did, and you were saying that Covenant, the new album, will be released in summer of 2025. Well, we're in summer of 2025, so can you give us like an estimate of a release, like in a month, in a couple months? Any idea about that?
Yes, I've decided to push the release date of Covenant back to the early fall.
Okay,
With Wacken Battle and our summer tour starting soon, we decided it would be the best interest of the album to postpone it while we finish our traveling.
that makes
Despite
sense.
We're going to be releasing our new single, Bloodacre, with an accompanying music video within the next few weeks. It's been very busy.
Awesome. And I do want to talk about how busy you guys have been because you released From the Pale Mist only a year ago. And my question is, did writing and recording this new material come easily for you since you put it out so quickly?
Yes, writing the material has not been a problem. I've written over 70 songs for the next few albums. One of the benefits of having a music degree is having an increased depth of knowledge and understanding for music theory. That, with my passion for black metal, it makes writing the material for this band very easy, very natural.
That's awesome. And now, I did hear the single "Night's Embrace" that you have now, and compared to the material from the Pale Mist, I feel like "Night's Embrace" is a lot more primal sounding. So, can your fans expect this from the new album, this style, or is every song different?
Absolutely. We are definitely going in a more primal direction. The kind of art that I love like to create, that I typically create, is very raw and visceral. So I like to bring that to the table, especially within my vocal style, but also within my lyrical content. So we like to have a sort of raw grit with a bit of refinement. And the idea is to sort of find that careful balance between the two.
Awesome. And now this question is for Caleb. You recorded, mixed, and mastered. Well, actually, here, let me rework this question again. So, from the Pale Mist, you recorded, mixed, and mastered that album. Will you also be handling the engineering for this for Covenant?
Yes, I'll be handling all the engineering for this as well.
Awesome. So discuss the process of, I guess, doing all your own engineering.
Album production is my least enjoyable part of creating this art. For Pontifex, as Brimstone was saying, our goal is to stay gritty but refined with our production. I record every instrument with microphones in order to get the sound of the recording room. I think that's very important. I don't want to use any type of digital DI or reamping for our music because it doesn't give the raw intensity that I'm looking for. I really strongly dislike modern metal audio production where everything is very clear, quantized, and overproduced. When mixing and mastering, I limit the amount of plugins that I use as much as possible in order to retain the grit and the raw sound of our instruments. Once I have all the levels set, I'll use an EQ to get the instruments out of each other's way, adjusting the frequencies to make sure they fit together, and add additional reverb and distortion as needed. I try to leave it alone as much as possible. I don't want it to sound too clean.
I have a lot of respect for that. That's awesome. And you also play the flute. And now I'm somebody, I do appreciate orchestral elements and well, in extreme metal, but including black metal, but sometimes bands they overdo it, in my opinion. So how do you keep the balance between I should say not only the flute, but also like the keyboards and all the orchestrations while keeping your sound very primal?
The most important thing when composing the orchestral elements of our songs is that they are only used when they increase the atmosphere or increase the impact of the song. Overusing those symphonic elements get in the way of the grit, get in the way of the energy, get in the way of the impact of the music. They have to be aligned with each other in order to be effective. Adding the flute to black metal felt like a natural choice for me. It adds an ethereal and haunting sound to the music that, to me, channels the sound of a mournful spirit.
I like that answer. And so, the last question, I usually save that for the band to, say anything or promote anything they want, but you do have a tour coming up. So I feel like this is a good opportunity for you to promote your upcoming tour, and then you feel free to say anything about Covenant that I didn't get to in the interview.
Absolutely. After our performance at the Wacken Battle Nationals, we are essentially starting our tour a little bit early. We'll be going up the East Coast or back down the East Coast to South Carolina and North Carolina, where we'll be performing with Zassler on their dates in those two states. After that, we'll have a short break before we hit Gainesville, Atlanta, Nashville, Boston. What are the other two cities that we're hitting on tour?
Gainesville, Atlanta, Boston.
We're hitting New England,
We're
Maine, and
uh,
New Hampshire.
New Hampshire, yeah.
New Hampshire as well.
Forget the exact city, but
All the dates and
mountain
details are
town.
on our social media.
Awesome. And then, well, thank you everybody for checking out this interview. Pontifex is a killer band. I was one of the judges for the Florida Wacken Battle, and they won the opportunity to go and and perform in New Jersey to compete in the Wacken Festival. So, definitely check out this band if you're going to, if you live anywhere where they will be on tour. Come out, support these guys. Trust me when I say this is like one of the best black metal bands I've heard in a long time. Their live show is phenomenal. I've always enjoyed seeing this band live. They have a new album, Covenant, coming out in the beginning, early fall, and their single Night's Embrace, it's on their Bandcamp. I'll link it in this video. Check out the new single. Check out From the Pale Mist, the album they released last year. You can find that on all streaming platforms. And they have a new single. When did you say that was coming out? I'm sorry.
It'll be within the next few weeks. We're finalizing the dates right now as we finish editing the music video.
Okay.
Uh, the single Bloodacre, it will be coming out on all streaming platforms with the music video very soon.
Awesome. So then, yep, they have a new single coming out soon. And then please always continue checking out new bands. There are always so much killer new talent coming out. So always keep your eyes open for bands like Pontifex because this is the future of extreme metal. So thank you again for checking out this interview and stay metal, everyone.